Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was on mute. Okay. Let me show you. I'm gonna call you back and show you how to send the link to the rock. Okay. Well, I already sent him the link. You said he ain't getting you with the Facebook and sent through Messenger. Yeah, come. Yeah, I sent it through Messenger. Yes, you said so. So you became a rock. Right. Well, now I sent it to his son first because that's what. Send it to you became a rock. Well, it wouldn't. That's part of what he checking. You're not checking here. You're checking you became a rock. Well, I told him it wouldn't let me send it to him, so he has to go to his son's Facebook page. Why would I send it to him? Because I had already sent it to his son. I guess it wouldn't let me send multiple links. So you sent like 5 links. I have no idea. It wouldn't let me. Yeah, he said something like that because his son was using the phone, right? Was using his phone, so he wanted me to send it to his link. I'm gonna try to do it again as soon as I can get back in the studio. Okay. I'll try it again. Let me get back inside the studio. You gonna try to send it? You became around or something? No, I'm gonna try to send it to him. I'm gonna try to send it where he wanted. But I like I said, I already sent it to his son. Okay. Let me see. Now how? Okay. So how do I get back in the studio? Just in the studio. Go to what you looking at right now? All right. Right now it's looking at destinations, right? You got Isupk Alabama, Isupk the fan page, and it has the. Okay, click on everything except the fan page. Click on the regular Facebook. Click on YouTube, or click on Twitter. Oh, I didn't know we'd be going live on Twitter too. Yeah. Okay. Connect. Then you go down to scroll down. It should say connect. Okay. I'm sitting up here talking, thinking I'm talking to somebody, and the sister had to tell me inside the chat that I had no audio coming in. Yeah. See it now? All right, it's slow to load, but something's coming up. All right, boom. So I got, let me see, beautiful. Your destination was reconnected. Let me make sure I got all of them. Reconnect. Use your pass key to confirm it's really you. What? Man up. Yeah. That ain't, what you mean the pass key? What you hit? That ain't the thing on, are you on StreamYard? Yeah, I was. Well, yeah, go to, click on, you might have clicked, somebody click on the wrong tab. Go to StreamYard. That's where I was at, and I clicked on reconnect, and it took me over into this Google side in jazz. Yeah, no, don't worry about that part. You go back to the StreamYard. That's gonna pop up anyway, because you already live. All you gotta do now is go into the studio. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's slow to load. All right, it's back up. Okay, boom. All right, so I need to go down to let me see. We'll go back to home. When you see on the list right there, it's class already be great. Because you're still alive right now. All right. Boom. Okay. Into studio. Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. It say this page is not respond. Okay, here we go. I'm back in. Okay, Marat said he got the link. All right, well, all you gotta do is click on it. You gotta just add them on. You don't see all that right there. That part of the time.
So you got it. Well,
All right, yeah, I got something popping up. It's just a little slow.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Hey, Shalom on Christ. Can you hear me?
Come on.
All right, how's my sound coming in?
You sound to wild.
All right. Now that we got this taken care of. All right. So back to what I was saying. All right, so this is the Isupk Law Class. All right, so tonight I'm just going to touch on a few things. You know what I'm saying? We got held up with a few technical difficulties and whatnot. But we just going to touch on a few things referring to like science inside the Bible, right? Your oppressor likes to make you believe, would like you to believe that he's on the cutting edge of, you know what I'm saying? He's a pioneer when it comes down to, you know, showing you different things about science, showing you different things about, how the world was created, you know what I'm saying, the ozone layer and all this other jazz, things you should eat, you know what I'm saying, quarantine and all this other jazz. He likes to try to make it seem like he's a pioneer when it comes down to that. But he's really not. He's really just doing the same thing he's been doing, you know what I'm saying, which is being a culture vulture, a thief, one that takes credit for stuff that he really didn't even know nothing about. You understand? Warrior, are you familiar with anything I'm saying? Have you ever seen this play out in history before?
Law.
Okay.
Sir.
Well, we're gonna bring out a few things. Have you ever heard of something called the ozone layer?
Slacker, sir. What you say?
Go ahead. Have you ever heard of something called the ozone layer?
Come on.
All right. So, is the ozone layer and is it inside the Bible? Is it real? Have you ever heard of it in the Bible?
Law.
Well, I think you have. Have you ever heard of the firmament?
Law.
No sweat. No sweat. Well, we're gonna let's talk about the firmament. First, let's start in Genesis, man. Let's start in Genesis. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me get Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
Verse 9. Slacker, sir. Verse 9.
No, verse 1.
verse 1. Chapter 1, verse 1.
Right.
Come on. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void.
Okay.
And dark.
Right there. Stop right there. Okay. Now, you always hear your person talk about atoms, gas, different things like that. Now, we know sometimes when it comes down to making something solid, right? You have two different compounds, two different gases. What two gases come together to make, let's say, for instance, water?
Oh.
We'll come back to that. Keep reading.
Come
So it was
on.
saying that the earth was formed without form and it was void. So if something is without form and is void, it's basically in its gaseous state. You know what I'm saying? So meaning that you know what I'm saying, there ain't nothing that you can grasp. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing that you can really touch. You might can see gas and fumes and stuff. Sometimes when you pumping gas, you might can see the fumes coming up, but you don't see the gas itself, okay? So that's what it's talking about when it says the earth was a void without form. Okay? Keep reading.
Come on. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water.
Okay. Hold on real quick. Now, sister inside the sister Rakama, excuse me, sis, if I butchered today. She got it right. Water is made out of hydrogen and oxygen. Now, this is something that you know what I'm saying that your oppressor is going to say that they broke down and they put on the scientific table when in fact it was already inside the Bible. That's what it means when it says it was without form. It was void. So what happens when you boil water? The water separates and it becomes a gas. It becomes in a gaseous state. You understand? That's how the earth was. It was just in its gaseous state. Okay? Start again where you just left from.
Come on. You remember Salaki, so you want me to read it again?
Go ahead. Yeah, read it again.
Come on. And darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Verse 3. And God said, let there be light, and let there was light.
Okay, when you said let there be light, they like to make it seem like God just turned on some type of universal, you know what I'm saying, cosmos light switch. When that's not what it was. It wasn't a light switch. It was actually, take a light bulb for instance, okay? When you got a light bulb. Inside that light bulb is something called the filament of the inside of the light bulb. It takes electricity and an explosion inside the light bulb for it to be light. Okay? So let's take banging two rocks together. Let's take flint. When you knock those two rocks together, you get a reaction with a spark, you know what I'm saying, by banging them together, and you get light. You get a fire. Okay? So that's when it says, let there be light, that was what the oppressor would call the Big Bang Theory. Okay? The Big Bang Theory. Well, the world, you know what I'm saying, came together, everything began to form inside a solid, and it made a spark. You know what I'm saying? It became, you know what I'm saying, in a type of energy or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You may call it a supernova or some jazz like that, but it was something like that. You know what I'm saying? It took that big bang, you know what I'm saying? Everything formed together, the earth started to form or whatnot. Okay? All right, keep going.
Come verse 4. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness.
Okay.
Verse 5. And God called it the light day, and the darkness he called it night.
Right.
And the so you want me to keep reading, sir?
Keep reading.
Okay. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Verse
Mm-hmm.
6. And God said, let there be a firmament, firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the water from the water.
Right. Let it divide the sky from the waters on the earth. All right. So, all right. Your oppressors nowadays will call the firmament the ozone layer, right? He will call it the ozone layer when the Bible already had a name for it. You know, the ozone layer is something that they came up with and started calling it the ozone layer when they realized, when you got asteroids coming through space and whatnot, all types of rocks falling out of space. What happens is they come to the ozone layer as a solid, but the Lord put that firmament around the earth to break it up before it hits the earth. You understand? That's why we don't have these, you know what I'm saying? We ain't getting pelted by rocks from space and all this stuff, because the Lord put something above the earth and around the earth to protect us from that. And that's what they call the ozone layer. You know what I'm saying? With our oppressor being such an evil devil, a lot of the chemicals that he's putting inside these cars and aerosol cans, it is eating away at the ozone layer. You understand? But at the same time, that's not what it was designed. It was designed to protect us from things like ultraviolet lights. If we didn't have that firmament above us, you know, the rays from the sun would just burn our skin. You understand? It would burn our skin. And it still burns the oppressor skin. You know what I'm saying? But we are made, you know what I'm saying, for this earth. You understand? But the reason why the oppressor skin is being burnt like that is because he's destroying what's designed to protect it. You understand? Which is the firmament, what he calls the ozone layer. Okay? All right, so keep reading.
Concord. Verse 7. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament,
Mm-hmm.
firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening, and the morning was the second day. Verse 9. And God said, let the water under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so.
Okay, so what's going on here? The earth is starting to form. You understand? Now, inside your church, see, the church takes the Bible, it makes it spooky. It makes it like magical. You understand? You got to take all the Christianity off what you're reading. Take the Christianity off of it, take the spookiness off of it, and just think about a lot of stuff that you might have learned in school. You understand? You might have learned these things in school. You might have heard about the Big Bang. You might have heard about the ozone layer. You know what I'm saying? And you listen to that stuff and you chalk it up as, you know, science and whatnot. But not knowing the whole time is inside the Bible. A lot of these things have already been inside the Bible. Like it says inside the Bible, nothing is new under the sun. But your oppressor likes to take these things and give it to you, rewrap it, and act like he's giving you something new. Like he's showing you something. When it was already showed to you, you just didn't understand what you were reading. Okay? Like I said, you know what I'm saying, it began to have dry land. So you got dry land. You got the, you know what I'm saying, the earth starting to form. Okay? It's a natural process, you know what I'm saying, with stuff you have erosion and you have stuff that collects together and then starts to form land. You know what I'm saying, salt water or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You got the what's it called? The mangroves and stuff, right? So it's salt water inside those mangroves. And when you get certain sediments together, it starts to form land. You understand? It starts to form land. Okay? What else? Okay, keep reading.
Come on. Verse 10. And God called it the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the water called it his seas.
Mm-hmm.
And God saw that it was good.
Right. Okay, hold for a second. All right, when I was younger, when I was in school, one of my science teachers made something that's called a terrarium. And the crazy thing about this terrarium, it was shaped like a globe. It was shaped like the earth. But inside the terrarium, you had grass, you had dirt, you know what I'm saying? You had all these things. And it kind of like was a replica of an ecosystem. And so what happened is when you pour that water inside this globe, inside this terrarium, you could even do this with a bottle or whatever. You start to see, the water collect around, you know what I'm saying, the lid or the top of the, you know what I'm saying, terrarium or whatnot, because it's evaporating. That's what that ozone layer or the firmament does. It makes sure that the water and stuff recycles back down, you know what I'm saying, so it doesn't float out into outer space. You understand? So when the water evaporates and stuff, it comes back down. You understand? It evaporates out the earth and it comes back down. Now, in the middle of all this stuff, if you had something like a terrarium or, you know what I'm saying, something like with some dirt in it and some moisture, stuff is gonna start to form inside there. You might get some fungus at first. You might get all types of organisms that start to form. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing that's magical. It's something that happens with, water in a solid. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why no planet can have life on it without water. You know what I'm saying? Water is what God made to bring forth life. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the things that bring forth life. Okay? Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind,
Mm-hmm.
whose, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so.
All right, drop that. Go to chapter 2. It's something else I wanted to get into on chapter 2. Something else I was taught in school, but the whole time I didn't know it was inside the Bible. Let me see where I want to
Come.
start at. Start at verse 8.
Come. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put a man whom he had formed. Verse 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant
Pleasant. Mm-hmm.
and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
All right, so I'm gonna
Verse
stop
3.
right there real quick. I want everybody to know that that tree was not an actual tree for one thing, and it wasn't an apple. Okay, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil wasn't a tree with an apple on it. It's an apple nowhere inside the Bible. Okay, what that tree actually was, that was actually okay. The Lord giving Adam the knowledge of being able to read the stars, okay? Being able to read the stars. Okay, so when I was younger in school, they took me inside of what's called a star dome. And they showed me all these constellations. And they got all these names for this constellation. They got Taurus the bull. They got Draco the dragon. They got the Big Dipper. They got all these different names for constellations. But the original what God made those constellations for was so that Adam would be able to look at a zebra and call it a zebra. You know what I'm saying? He could read those constellations. He had the knowledge of the stars, okay? He had the knowledge of being able to navigate using the stars, okay? But, you know, a lot of people took the stars, you know, and they started to worship them. You understand? And so with that being said, God had to put the law inside the Bible, you know what I'm saying, so that we won't worship stars and whatnot. So that's what that tree was inside, you know what I'm saying, of good, evil, and knowledge and whatnot. And the other tree was the tree that, you know what I'm saying, we were supposed to read from, which was, you know what I'm saying, the laws and whatnot, which was inside the stars. Okay? And with that being said, you know what happened inside the store. You know, the servant came, which was a man. He came and told Eve, you know, it's okay to read that. You know what I'm saying? Read that and learn, you know what I'm saying? Because he don't want you to be like, he don't want you to be a god, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. But anyway, I just want to break that down real quick. Keep reading so I can get to my point.
Come on. Verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted, and became into 4 heads. Verse 11. The name of the first is Pison. They it is wood which compasses the whole land of Havilah, where
Okay,
there is gold.
okay, Havilah. Okay, drop down to 14.
Come on. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. Hiddekel.
Yeah,
It
you had it
is
right.
which it is which got towards the east of Azariah,
Assyria.
Assyria.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth river is the rights of the right.
Euphrates.
Two phase.
Right, Euphrates. Okay, the reason why I want to read this, okay, this is another thing that I was taught in school. Have you ever heard of anything called the Fertile Crescent?
Purpose. So like it law. That.
Okay, Fertile Crescent. All right, so the Fertile Crescent is was the cradle of civilization. Okay, it's the area between what they call the Middle East and Africa. You know what I'm saying? It was called the Fertile Crescent. And that's where the Euphrates, the Tigris, and all that jazz, that's where all those rivers met at. Okay? And that was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? That's where the Garden of Eden was at. Because it was a real fertile area. And it was called the Fertile Crescent. You know what I'm saying? And that's documented history. Okay? But they tell you that the Bible is fake, but they take it and change the name. You know what I'm saying? I believe the empire might have been called Mesopotamia or some jazz like that. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick. I believe it was called Mesopotamia. Okay. Right. So it was called Mesopotamia, and that's where what you would call the Fertile Crescent, and that's also where the Garden of Eden was. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop that. I just want to cover those couple things. The next thing I want to get into, go to Leviticus. And go to Leviticus. Let's learn what some of these things are inside the dietary law. Because you gotta understand inside the law, it's a lot of terms that's used that's not used anymore. That's using, you know what I'm saying, Old English, that you might need to know what these things are, you know, so you'll know what's lawful and what's unlawful. Okay? Let's pull that up. Leviticus 11. Let's start right there. Leviticus 11.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you truthful. Before we get into it, is a camel lawful to eat?
Law, sir.
Okay. What about a horse?
Law.
What about a grasshopper?
Okay.
My man. All right, so let's keep going. Let's start at verse 3.
Okay. This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts that shall ye eat.
All right. So what is something that's cloven footed? Give me an example of cloven footed.
Let me see.
What about a deer?
There. Come.
Yeah. What about a deer? Now pull up a deer's foot. Pull up a deer's hub, and are you able to use a phone or something that you can Google? Or the only phone you got is the one that you use.
Come. I can even use my phone.
All right, pull up a deer hub, deer foot, a hoof.
Oh yeah.
You see the way that deer foot looks?
Come.
That's what you call cloven footed, right? All right. And chewing the cud basically means that this animal chooses food, regurgitates it in his mouth, and chews it again. Let's pull up cud. What is chewing the cud? What's the first definition that it says for chewing cud?
It says of a ruminant animal further chew partly the geese food,
Digested.
digestive food, sloppy.
So that's what chewing the cud is, right? So animals that have feet that are cloven, you know what I'm saying, a split hoof, and it chews the cud. We can eat that, right? Okay, so a few examples of that, like we said, deer, antelope. What about? Let me see. What about a donkey?
It could be a donkey, cow, like.
No, not a donkey. Not a donkey. I said that to try to trip you up. Not the donkey. A donkey is not cloven footed. I believe a donkey has a hoof like a horse. Okay. What about a giraffe?
La.
Kind of. Giraffe is lawful. Giraffe, antelope, buffalo, anything that chews the cud and has a split hoof is lawful to eat. Okay. Now we're gonna move past that. Read verse 4.
Come. This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud. or of them that divided the hoof, as the camel, because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof. He is unclean unto you.
Now, all right. A camel, for one thing, doesn't have a hoof. It has a foot that is split, but a camel really has toes. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a hoof. It's covered in fur. You understand? A camel is unclean. So with the camel being unclean, let's see. What's another animal? Name two other animals that's like a camel. Um, that's like a camel. You know, it's the same thing as a camel, but it may be a camel without a hump. If you don't know, that's fine. I'll tell you what it is.
God. Let me see.
Yes, it's a cow is lawful. Lord knows I love me some good hamburger.
Okay, cookie count. So like this, Sarah. I don't know.
All right, it ain't no sweat. That's what we doing in here. We learning. So another part of the camel family would be a llama. It's a llama, and I think it's something called chupaca, some shit like that. Let me Google that. I think it's called a chupaca. Chupaca. Nah, not Chewbacca. Okay. What are the relatives of a llama? Oh,
So like this.
alpaca. It's called an alpaca. Okay. These things are, you know, they're camels without a hump. They're the same llamas, alpacas, they're camels without a hump. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people like to keep alpacas inside the, you know what I'm saying, their folds with their lambs because they do guard the lambs. They'll attack wolves and, you know what I'm saying, coyotes and fight them and stuff, but they're not good to eat. You understand? Some people even use them for their fur or whatnot, but they're not good to eat. They're the same thing as a camel. Okay? Let's keep reading. Drop down to 5.
Con. Verse 5. And the cunny, because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof. He is unclean to you.
Now, what is a coney? Do you know what that is?
Connie, wow.
All right.
I can Google it.
And that's kind of why I'm going over this because there's some terms in here that we may not be familiar with, and we don't, you know what I'm saying, we don't use it, you know what I'm saying, in today's English. But a coney, if I'm not mistaken, that's a type of, it will be a rabbit. Okay? Let's Google coney real quick and make sure. A coney will be a rabbit. So we know that we can't eat rabbit.
Yeah, rabbit. It's like it says, rabbit.
Okay. I thought that's what it was. Yeah, it's a rabbit. Okay, so we know that a coney is a rabbit because he chewed the cud, but he divided not the hoof because he ain't got no hoofs. What a rabbit got? A rabbit has feet, paws. Some people, you know what I'm saying, some culture think that a rabbit foot is lucky for some reason, but a rabbit it doesn't have a hoof. Okay? And the hair, okay, read 6.
Come on. Verse 6. And they hurt because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof. He is unclean unto you.
Okay, so what is a hair?
So like, what is it?
It's all good. You're going to learn today. Never be afraid to use that Google. You know what I'm saying? That's the good thing about the technology that we have today. is that a lot of stuff, a lot of information is right at our hand. You know what I'm saying? I'm such a source for a whole bunch of useless information and useful information because I like using Google. I like, you know what I'm saying, just researching things and looking up stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because, I have a thirst to learn. So, don't be afraid to use that Google. So what did you come up with?
It's called like a jackrabbit.
There you go. A hare is a very big, ugly rabbit, and he is not good to eat. Now, back in the day down south, I don't know how old you is, True.
15.
15. Yeah, you
Okay.
might not came up any day. See, my granddaddy used to kill everything that had legs and eat it damn near. And when I say he used to kill everything, squirrels, possum. It wasn't enough for me to walk inside my granddaddy's house and it'd be a turtle boiling inside the pot. Okay? This is how a lot of people live. You know what I'm saying? They lived off the land, you know what I'm saying? They learned how to cook stuff and to make it taste good. You understand? Stuff that we wasn't supposed to eat, you know what I'm saying? We such a resourceful people, we can put seasoning on anything and make it taste good. But just because it tastes good, don't mean we're supposed to be eating. So rabbits and gravy and biscuits is something that a lot of people down south used to eat. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers and sisters in Haiti eating mud cookies that they made out of dirt cookies. That's a real thing. They're eating dirt cookies down there in Haiti. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these things that we learn to eat over the years because of oppression is not something that we're supposed to eat. Okay? All right, so keep reading.
Block several maybe.
Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to add what you were saying, man. That's because that's so heavy. That's so true that we get down here in the South. Cause I grew up like that too as well, being tricked, but most of the time we were tricked. They tell you something else, and then when you get through eating, or that was rabbit, or that was it, or that. You know what I'm saying? We got tricked into eating a lot of stuff that squirrel meat and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. hey, that's a dirty trick, ain't it?
Right.
Hey, good thing your son know how to grow up like that, huh? Yeah, man, that's real talk, man. I've seen stuff inside the oven, man. It ain't like I said, it was granddaddy, man. He was a country boy. Seen stuff inside the oven, man. I just didn't know what it was. I seen tails hanging out of pots that looked like a dinosaur tail. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a snapping turtle tail. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, what the hell is in this pot? But anyway, that's the way that a lot of us grew up, man. You know what I'm saying? But luckily we found the truth. And we know things, you know what I'm saying? We know it's a difference in between things now. We know it's things that we should do, things that we shouldn't do, things that we should eat, things that are not food. You know what I'm saying? That is the advantage that we have in being inside the truth. You understand? And we understand why we can't eat a lot of these things, which I'm gonna break down once we get through this chapter. All right. Go ahead, keep reading for me, boy.
Come on. Verse 7. And the swine, though he divided the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet
that swine, he got a split hoof. His hoof is split. He has a hoof, and he's split. You know what I'm saying? The hoof is split. Keep going.
Okay. Yet he chewed not the cud, he is unclean to you.
That swine, you know what a swine is, don't you, warrior?
Okay.
That swine, man, he's unclean to you. You know what I'm saying? That swine is not food. You know what I'm saying? Even though we grew up eating chitlins and, you know what I'm saying, pig ears.
He cleaned up the verse.
You done have some chitlins, warrior?
Okay.
You done have some chitlins? Sound like you got excited just a minute ago. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out there trying to eat no chitlins now. You know, that ain't us. All right, you said something when I said chitlins. All right, so Yeah, man. You know, we grew up eating chitlins, pig ears, pig feet. I'm not gonna even lie, man. You know, pig feet was a thing that I used to indulge in inside the world. Nasty as it is, I used to like pig feet. You know what I'm saying? I was no different from any other Jake in the world
Vegas,
growing
like
up in
it,
Florida and Alabama. Go ahead. What you say, Warren?
Like I said, it's supposed to clean up the earth.
There you go. That's what it's made for. But we, you know what I'm saying? We cleaning the bones off the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to clean the earth. You know what I'm saying? And we sitting back eating him. You understand? That pig is, you know, nothing more than a garbage disposal. And you know what I'm saying? His body holds so much disease and stuff that a lot of diseases started from the pig, like the flu, the tapeworm, a lot of parasites that we get, it comes from that pig. You know what I'm saying? You can look into high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all types of parasites and all types of diseases. Matter of fact, let's see what diseases started with the pig. I'm gonna go ahead and Google that for me. See what diseases started with a hog or a pig or a swine.
Slaughter, sir, right? If I may,
Go ahead.
that I always wonder, you know what I'm saying? These things that be bottom feeders, that be things that supposed to be like the garbage disposal on the earth, they be made something to be some, some fancy, something
Right.
like. Why I always wonder like why these things that the main bottom feeder thing is made something to be, like a delicacy now because man, the white man is such a devil, man. Like, how can the thing that's made to be garbage or garbage disposed to be a delicacy today? And why is they being made a delicacy? Just like the pig, the lobster, all these things, bottom feeders, you know what I'm saying? Like, supposed to be garbage disposed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand it, man. I used to always say it to myself, like,
Basically, what you're saying is they ran a number on us.
right,
Say, since you smart, you never ate it. You was very smart. Me, I was not so smart. I thought it was the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? You know how you know what I'm saying, Judites and stuff, they like to say, man, if you don't eat this, man, you ain't black. Where you from? Who your daddy is? You know what I'm saying? They try to shame you into eating the pig. You know what I'm saying? Tell you wasn't raised like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of oppression and tyranny I grew up under, sis. So it was kind
but
of forced on
to my,
me.
I can't say I ain't never ate it. Now, yes, I have ate it. I ate it
Right,
all. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Especially bacon, all that stuff, man. We always raised. I was just raised up that way. Family just all us raised up that way.
Facts. That's a big fact, man. And like what you were saying about the lobster, man, you know, I heard General Muhammad bring it out of one class that lobster was something that they used to feed prisoners, right? They used to feed these prisoners,
Mm,
I believe it was in Maryland, somewhere out there on the East Coast. Uh, they fed, you know what I'm saying? It was the prison was on the sea, and it was just such a plethora of lobsters that they gorged those prisoners out in lobsters, and those prisoners just ate it. You understand? You know what I'm saying?
right,
And they took that lobster and made it a delicacy, and they started serving it on the railroad because it was so plentiful. They started serving it on the railroad, and they made it to where the lobster is a delicacy now. You know what I'm saying? They even got a lot of our sisters food into every income tax. They going out and buying all the crab legs, all the
right,
shrimp. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't wait to spend that income tax on some crab legs and buttering it up in some crab legs when if somebody threw you inside the sea, that crab would be eating you. Okay?
right.
So it's made to like you said, be a garbage disposal and clean the city up. Okay? Keep reading from the Bible, so we're going to end class in just a second.
Con. Verse 8. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
Okay, like I said, the carcass you shall not touch. You know what I'm saying? You're touching toxic waste. Don't touch that pig. His carcass is unclean. It's riddled with disease. It's riddled with all types of unclean things. Do not touch it. Okay? Keep reading.
Con. Verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whosoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the river, them shall ye eat. Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the sea and in the rivers, of all that move in the water, and of all any living thing which is in the water, they shall be abomination unto you.
All right. So inside the water, is it lawful to eat? Is a brim lawful? I don't know if you know what a brim is, or that's some country boy stuff. I don't know if you're fishing.
So like you said a brim.
A brim. It's a type of a brim would be classified as a panfish. It's a type of freshwater panfish. So if you want to look it up, you can look up brim, bluegill, crappie. I think all those will be labeled under a panfish, like a freshwater panfish.
Oh, let's see. So like. Like I said, I don't know it's lawful to eat that.
Okay. Are you looking at the fish right now?
Come.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that it is lawful. That bluegill. Let me see. You got your bluegills. You got your sunfish. Let me see, spotted. What do they call that thing? Anyway, red ear sunfish. But anyway, pumpkin seed fish. You got your brim, crappie, bluegill. All these fish are lawful to eat because they have fins and scales. What about a catfish?
Law.
Okay, a catfish didn't make the cut because he don't have any scales. Okay, what about a tuna?
Tuna, law.
Okay, a tuna is not lawful. Okay, and we already know that your oysters and things of that nature, that is not lawful. They have their purpose inside the sea. Oysters down there to filter the water. That's what it does. It filters the water. Okay, it keeps the water from. It keeps you from getting all the stuff that comes with unfiltered water. It keeps the algae, the red tide, and all that stuff. Keeps that under control. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord knew what He was doing, and He put those down there to be a filter down there. You understand? But the white man wants to crack it open and slurp it down raw. You understand? He wants to eat those oysters raw, gooey and nasty. Okay? That's what he wants to do. Okay? But that's not what he's supposed to do. All right. So keep reading.
Come. So verse 11. They shall be even abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh. but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Verse 12.
Yeah, have
Whosoever
their carcasses. Carcasses.
has Verse 12. Whosoever have no fin nor scale.
Whatsoever.
So what she said?
Verse 12. Whatsoever.
Whatsoever have no fins nor scales in the waters, that have be an abomination unto you.
That shall be an
Shall
abomination
be.
unto
Okay.
you. I keep
Verse
reading down to 13.
Verse 13. And these are they which you shall have an abomination among the flocks.
The
They
foulings.
shall
You
foul
know you know what a foul is, right?
the bird. It's like I said, a bird.
That's right. That's exactly what a foul is. Keep reading.
Okay. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle and the solar
Ossifront
ossifer and the osprey.
and an osprey.
Osprey.
Okay, so basically, these are what you would call like a bird of prey, like a red-tailed hawk. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a long-legged bird called a secretary bird. That's a real bird. Pull that up. I want you to see what a secretary bird looks like. Pull up secretary bird. It is a long-legged bird of prey. It's called secretary bird. Let me make sure I got that right.
So,
I wish we could do like a share screen. I want to get it set up so we can share like some of the stuff that we pulling up. Maybe we'll set that up eventually. But I would like to, you know what I'm saying, to have like visuals so that everybody can see a lot of the stuff that we talk about. Do you see what I'm talking about? The secretary bird?
huh. They got a so I can just put it on the song.
But it's a long-legged bird, right?
Yeah, come.
But it's a long-legged bird. You know, it got a beak like an eagle. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bird of prey. That bird right there is unlawful to eat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these birds, if you try to eat them, you're going to get riddled with disease. You know what I'm saying? By eating these birds and stuff, because they're not made for us to eat. You know what I'm saying? You're sinning if you eat these birds, and the wages of sin is death. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading down. Okay, an osprey is basically a bird of prey. It's almost like a sea eagle, like a smaller eagle that hunts fish inside the sea. That's what an osprey is. Okay? Drop down to 14.
Verse 14. And the vulture and the kite after his kind.
Okay,
Verse
so a
15.
vulture basically that's what you see on the side of the road doing its job, eating roadkill. That's a vulture. A kite is a smaller, it's like a small hawk, okay? But it's
Con.
not as quite as small as a falcon. It's like kind of like right there in between. That's what a kite is. It's a bird of prey. It's a type of bird of prey. Okay? Keep reading.
Verse 15. Every raven after his kind.
Okay, every raven. So that means your crows, your ravens, your crows, your there's another bird that's kind of like around the same, anything that's like a crow, that will be crow like. You know what I'm saying? That'll meet that, meet the the species of like a crow, you know what I'm saying, or a raven or whatnot. All right, keep reading.
Verse 16. And the owl and the night hawk
We know what an owl is. We know what a nighthawk is. Okay.
and the cuckoo
Okay.
and the
And
hawk.
a cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? You might know it as a cuckoo bird. You know what I'm saying? Oh, have you ever heard? Do you know what a cuckoo bird is?
Come.
You know what I'm saying? They made a clock after this bird called the cuckoo clock. You understand? So this bird right here, the cuckoo or the cuckoo, is unlawful. Okay? Keep reading.
And the hawk after his kind. Verse 17. And the little owl and the cormorant and the great owl.
Yeah, you pronounced that right. You pronounced that very well. Let's see what a cormorant
For
is.
more.
A lot of folks might not be familiar with what a cormorant is. Let's look that up. Let's know what we're talking about, know what we're looking at. All right. You might be like, hey man, what we looking up a cormorant for and all this other jazz, man? It might be crunch time here in a minute, man. We might be out there in the woods and, you know what I'm saying, evading all types of stuff. And we gonna know, have to be able to look at a lot of these things and know, hey, is this lawful to eat? Is it not lawful to eat? You know what I'm saying? It's good to know these things. Because, you know, if we living in the woods and, you know, living real raw and stuff, you know, we're gonna have to eat. We're gonna keep our strength up. You know, we don't want to mess around and eat a cormorant, you know what I'm saying, and end up croaked over, trying to have some cormorant wings or some jazz like that. You see what it is? It's basically like a type of sea fowl. You know, pretty much none of those seabirds are going to be lawful. That seagull, that cormorant, that pelican, swan, duck, none of those things are going to be lawful. You can't eat any of those birds. All right. So let's see. Let's drop down. We pretty much know the birds that you can eat and that you can't eat. Okay. And it talks about a stork, a heron, and a lapwing in the bat. And we know we can't eat bats.
Right.
Do you know what a greer is, right?
Huh?
You know what a greer is?
Okay.
All right, so you know what a greer is? That's basically like a big ass vulture. Okay.
Right.
Okay, all the fowls that creep upon our floor shall be an abomination. Let's see. Let's drop down to. Let's talk about your ostrich and your emus, stuff like that. Read 21. Now read 22.
Come. This is Leviticus chapter 11, verse 22. Even these of them ye may eat. The locust after his kind, and the no, sorry, locust after his kind.
Like ball, like my head is ball.
Okay. Slaki. And as the beetle after his kind,
Mm-hmm.
and the grasshopper after his kind.
So you can eat beetles. Not that I don't have a taste for a beetle, but I've never tasted a beetle. But I know that if we in the woods and it's crunch time, I can lift up a log, look up under a log, and hey, I can crunch down on the beetle, man, if I need some protein. You know what I'm saying? If we out there, you know, we trying to invade, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. And if it came down to it, we had to lift up a log, dig inside a tree trunk, and we found some beetles. We could eat those beetles. Now, you know what I'm saying? I believe there's certain types of beetles that may be a little toxic, so you might want to look into that. Just don't be out there just living up under the house and crunching down on beetles. I ain't telling you to go out there and eat no beetles. You want to know what type of beetle you're eating, okay? But it says beetles are lawful. All right. So grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are lawful. I believe who was it? That used to eat locusts and honey. It was a prophet inside the Bible. Mariah, you still there?
Oh, come sir.
Who was that used to eat that locusts and honey?
John Slocky.
John ate locusts and honey. That's all he ate was locusts and honey. So locust is basically nothing but a big grasshopper. It's a big grasshopper. They lawful to eat. Okay, I don't want any locusts, but if it came down to it, and I was out there in the wild and the locust was there to eat, and I was hungry,
Right.
I crunched down on some locusts. It's better than eating shrimp, because shrimp ain't food.
Right.
All right, so let me see. Blah, blah, blah. But all other creeping things which have 4 feet. Okay, let me drop down. Drop down to 29.
Come. Verse 29. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The wetzel and the
The weasel.
mouse and the weasel. It's like
Right, the weasel.
tortillas.
Tortoise. Like you heard the story of the tortoise and the hare. You know what I'm saying?
And the tortoise after his kind.
Right, so your tortoise, that's going to be like your shell, reptiles, or whatever. We can't eat any reptiles, period. But that's what a tortoise is, basically a land turtle. All right? All right, keep reading.
Come, verse 30. And the ferret.
In the ferret.
And the
You know what a ferret is, right?
So like a lot.
Okay, your ferret is sort of like a weasel, right? A lot of people used to have ferrets as pets. They like that long, rodent type weasel looking thing with sharp teeth. They're pretty cool. I almost thought about getting one as a pet, man, but I don't really want one no more. But yeah, they make good pets, but of course you can't eat them. I believe you was at the chameleon. Keep going.
Come. And the chameleon. And the lizard. And the snail. And the mole.
Right, your oppressor over there in France, he eats snails. You know what he calls those snails that he eats? He has a name for it. He calls it escargot. And he made it a delicacy. He made it something that's, that's something that's revered and distinguished if you eat escargot. He gave it a nice fancy name and put it on a plate that surrounds it with hors d'oeuvres. And now he makes you think that, you have some type of status if you eat escargot when you're really just eating something that's an abomination, that's disgusting. You're not supposed to eat snail, okay? In Florida, they have something that's called kung. It's called kung salad. All right, good evening, Charlie Kirk fan. All right? In Florida, they have something that's called a kung. It's called kung salad. You know what I'm saying? A kung is basically like a sea snail. And so down there in Florida, it's a delicacy to eat kung salad. Okay? But we're not supposed to be eating that because we're not supposed to eat snail out the sea or on the earth. Okay? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 31. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever does touch them when they be dead, shall be unclean until the even.
Right. So if you touch someone when you touch one of those when it's dead, you're gonna be unclean until the evening, man. You know,
Right.
your person, so he takes a lot of things and he makes it to where, he say basically he's like the child in school that tells you if you ain't stealing these bites, if you ain't skipping school with me, you ain't cool. I'm doing this because it's cool. When you know that your parents, they told you not to skip school. So go get your lesson. Don't go out there and do this. And your oppressor is a kid that's saying, man, come on over here with me. Skip school. Do these bad things. Snort this cocaine. Sell this dope. You understand? Because he wants you to not, reap the benefits of doing what your parents say, which really care about you. That's what you can compare your oppressor to. So he says, eat the pig. He says, eat the snail. And the Most High says not to do these things. And he has a reason behind it. You understand? Because he put all these things on earth to be able to do certain things. You understand? To be able to keep the earth clean. To be able to keep other animals in check. You understand? I believe in Disney they call it the circle of life, but it's really just, the ecosystem that the Most High already set up. None of this stuff happened by accident. He set it up this way to keep other things in check. Okay, so if you introduce, let's take the striped bass for instance. As soon as they introduce the striped bass to the ecosystem in Alabama, they start eating up all the other fish. Why? Because they wasn't supposed to be there. The Most High placed everything the way He wanted to be. It's man that, the white man that comes behind and says, hey, I don't want to have to go over here and hunt uh, and have to fish striped bass over here. So I'm going to bring them over here to where I'm at. And now it's a problem to where I'm at. Now it's killing all the fish that's over here. They take iguanas, they release them into the wild, and now you got an iguana problem in Florida. Your person does these different things, and he offsets the ecosystem that the Lord has set up. And, that's basically what what I'm getting at and whatnot. And, I'm going to go ahead and end the class, man, because we got started a little late, and we kind of over time. But, I just want to break down the dietary law, a couple things out of Genesis, to let you know that the Bible is not a spooky book, it's a scientific book. You understand? And, you have to take a lot of stuff that you learn. Okay. Yeah, Charlie Kirk fan. We're Israelites. We're Israelites. We're the true children of Israel, I don't know what else you want to know. Yeah. That's right, sis. You saying it right. All right. But anyway, I just want to break that down and, clear up a few things inside the dietary law. Clear up a few things as far as like, comparing the science of what they teach you inside school and different things, colleges, and, I want to break that down in a way to where we can correlate it with the Bible. Yeah, they wasn't Africans. The Israelites wasn't Africans. The Israelites was Israelites. And the Israelites were not devils either. They didn't look like you. Yeah, the Israelites weren't Africans, and the Israelites wasn't white. The Israelites are the black slaves and Hispanic that came over here to slave trade. So yeah, you would be absolutely right, because we're not Africans. You said something right. All right? But with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the class, I'm going to pass the class over to the trooper, you know what I'm saying? And you got the announcements and whatnot?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to pass the class over to you, man, you know what I'm saying? We're going to end this law class. All right, shalom.
Wow. Men of Israel, Elijah. We are the ISBK, 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And for the sister coming to the school, there are off women each month. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if their brother or sister had an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to their brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:18. Means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'aseh. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give treasury, department, or a teacher. The priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory. Whosoever month you would like according a coming holy congregation, announce holy congregation from sheep. Remain Akim and Akwa to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone want to be a trooper in the school to wear all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, men of Israel, Amazon, Bat, Amazon, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah, Maspatah, curse salute to the sisters, Barak, Yahweh Shemai Latah Hashem Yahshua, Maspatah, class dismissed.
Guy.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs no matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God. That's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.